Hi guys, I just wanted to come on and give a update on our home ed, how we've been doing the last sort of 6 weeks. We're coming up to about 6 weeks that we've been doing things a little differently, trying things a little different. And I just wanted to sort of update on what's been working, what we've been loving, what maybe hasn't been working so well. So I've been thinking, do I go child to child or area subject to subject? I think I'm just going to go with the flow. I've got a stack of books behind me and we'll just see how it goes through. So I'm just literally going to go for the first thing. I will start off by saying that there's been a few things going on with my health, my eldest's health, that's meant some things have kind of had to shift. There's a lot of appointments coming up. So it almost feels like this first 6 weeks, it might be nice to take like maybe a week break, just to refresh, reset, recharge. I am going to do another video on sort of what's been going on with my own health and what I've been doing to kind of help myself to feel a bit better, and that takes time away from home ed for sure. A lot of it's to do with cooking more from scratch, things like that, less processed food. What I'm putting into my body is definitely going to affect how I'm feeling, how the kids feel. So and that obviously takes time, so I will sort of get into that into another video. But just to recap kind of briefly what we were working on this last 6 weeks. So we have done, you know, your typical like English language arts, with my youngest phonics as well. And then we've done reading, work on fine motor skills, letter formation, things like that. If you have a child who's neurodivergent or just struggles in that area anyway, you know that things like that can be quite delayed and can be quite tricky for their hands. So I think it's really important to keep working on that. And that might seem a bit beyond because I've got an 8-year-old, but he does still need help with that. And then maths, and then history, unit study, novel study. So for our unit study, my youngest was doing space and my older two were doing money. And then for history, my eldest does just like the curriculum in England for her year. She's year 8, so she just is working on that at a very basic, simple level, and then we dive more into areas she finds more interesting. That's just what's been working. I don't see her wanting to go for like GCSE history, so I'm not super concerned about it, but it's basically a history of Britain at simplest sort of description. I have shared a separate video on how we're teaching history. And then with the boys, we've kind of delved deeper into the area of our the period of time that we were doing within our history curriculum. So we're doing the story of the world, and it was right in the beginning, ancient Egypt, and I discovered poor print badges, which are great, and you sort of decide as the teacher, as the parent, when they've earned enough or worked hard enough and done enough activities to earn their badge. So the boys have been doing an Egyptian paw print badge, and so we've really delved into Egyptian history and done lots of fun activities, lots of hands-on activities, crafts and things like that, cooking, baking, to go along with that. And so we're basically getting to the point now where we're done with that, and we're hoping to do a trip to a local museum that has a exhibit on ancient Egypt. So that's really exciting, and that's going to finish it off, and then they'll get it. And then for they'll get the badge. And then for novel study, we've been doing Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. My 8-year-old and my eldest has been completing the sort of workbooks, but my Youngest has just been listening to the story, watching the movie, that kind of thing. He did help with one activity we did, which was my 8-year-old designed his own chocolate bar, and then we created it. So he loved joining in with that. But I'll delve into that a bit more because it's not been working for my eldest. So yeah, that's kind of a brief overview of what we were doing. I would say the goals for each one of my children. So for my eldest, our goal this whole year is socialisation, her building her confidence, her attending clubs where she gets to socialise with children her own age. And I would say we're doing really well with that. And again, I'll delve into that deeper. So my middle 8-year-old, it's definitely to find a love for reading and writing. He struggles to write, and I think he therefore, like anything to do with the subject English, he's like really pushed back on it. So it's just to find a love of that, and 100% the novel study has done that, and I'm so proud of him, so impressed with how hard he's been working. It's just really caught his imagination, and that's just thanks to the novel study curriculum that we've been using, as well as like his handwriting, which again I'll show you what we've been doing, but I think it's been working really, really well. And then for my youngest, he was quite behind with phonics. Not behind, I wouldn't say behind, he wasn't grasping it super quickly, that memorization of the sounds. So we've gone right back to what he should have been starting in the beginning of year 1, and I've gone through the sounds week by week to try and get him up to what he would then be doing in year 2, and we have made such progress in that as well that I would say in the next few weeks he will be starting sight words that he would be learning in year 2, which means he's basically 6-8 weeks behind what other children within school would be doing, which I just think is just a bit of a relief for me, because I think he's really, really keen to be reading, and not knowing the sight words and struggling still with a few sounds is limiting his ability. So that's why I just really wanted to concentrate with catching him up with that, as well again with handwriting with him, and again that's just so it doesn't limit him. I want him to be able to write and then read back what he's written, and I think sometimes he's only 6 and a lot of it is he writes letters and numbers backwards, so that's where the confusion comes in, because he'll look back at his own writing and not quite understand what he's written. So I think that's why it's so important for him to do that. So they are just kind of what we've been up to and our goals. And yeah, so I'm just going to get into it now, and show you what we've really been loving, maybe what it hasn't worked so well. So I'm going to start with maths, because that's just sort of what's closest to me. And with my eldest, she does a majority of her maths with her tutor. She is doing functional skills, well, working towards foundational functional skills or level 1 functional skills. Yeah, so that's what she's working towards with her tutor. But I kind of wanted to add a bit more, like outside of that, that wasn't going to kind of contradict, but also just help her study. She does a lot of maths games and things herself independently, but I have been trialing some online providers of sort of like maths and English and all sorts, like online, just to keep them like busy. If I'm doing something with one of the others, I can just say, you go and log into IXL or whatever it is and do whatever you want on there. I'm pretty like laid back about it. And the boys have been using Numbots, but that's quite young. So I tried Khan Academy with my youngest. They have an app for the up to grade 2, I believe, which would be year 3 UK. Yeah, so I tried that with my youngest, and actually with my 8-year-old as well, although it was like a little bit too easy for him. And he loved it, but obviously for the older kids it's not a fun game, it's like proper lessons. So I wasn't sure how my eldest would feel about it, but honestly she has been super into it. There are videos as part of the lessons, and she finds the people, the teachers, the leaders, the providers, super funny, super entertaining. She'll call me in and go, mummy, like, listen to this, it's so funny. So she's been loving that. And the things that she kind of going on from our money unit study, which we've now finished, she has been doing financial literacy. Then she also is doing like year 8 maths. It might even be year 7 maths, because maths is something she struggles with and I didn't want to like delve straight into it. I just thought it could be a good review. She's also doing like some science, some language arts, that kind of thing, but for the sake of maths, she's loving it for maths. And it's just been adding just a little bit extra away from the work she does with her tutor. So for her, that's going really well. I will give a review if we try any others. I thought it'd be kind of fun for her to try others as well. Sorry, my youngest needed some help. This is Sunday when I'm filming, and me and my husband take it in turns to take my middle son to his coding group in a nearby town. It's like a big town, but we have 3 hours to kill, and it's quite a lot of time to kill in town when you don't want to spend lots of money all the time. So usually he would take one and then I would spend the morning with the other child that's left at home. But my youngest was complaining of a headache all day yesterday, and I just felt like it's a bit cold, bit wet. I didn't want him going out, and then my eldest is having her own issues with mobility, so they're both home with me. He's on his own. Yeah, and so anyway, maths again. So for my youngest, it's going to be really, really simple, because we have been using Khan Academy up until his curriculum arrived, because I was really late ordering it to be printed. I thought I was going to print it myself, but then I just thought, I worked out the cost of it, and Pingles, who print the Good and the Beautiful curriculum in the UK, the price was like a £4 difference or something if I was to print it myself or get them to print and bind it. And I think for the binding alone and the quality of it, it's worth it. So that just, it didn't come for a few weeks. It didn't come until probably a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. So no, it's probably less than that. Well, we do 5 a week and we're on lesson 8. So 4 a week, sorry. So yeah, we were like 2 weeks in. And I want to say I'm so impressed with the quality of the binding. So it came in 2 books, which is really great, because it's bulky as it is. You don't want sorry, excuse me. You don't want this huge thing to lug about, and we do school in the car sometimes as well, so this is really, really useful to have it smaller. So this is the first half, and it comes like with this plastic cover back and front. And the other thing is, I never print like all of these, but that was obviously included, which is really helpful. What can I say about the Good and the Beautiful math one? I'm not sure on it yet, if I'm totally honest. There's a lot on time, which is great. I love that. There's a lot on dates. Again, I think that's so often overlooked. You know, how to write a date, the month of the year, how many days are in each year, in each month. I think things like that are often skimmed over. So I love the repetitive of that. Like his last lesson was all about tally marks. You can see shapes as well, because he had to say what the shapes were, and then the tally marks. You can see here, this, like, he had to fill in the missing days of the month and then write the dates. He thought this was like super cool because it was my birthday. He's still doing some letters the wrong way round, you can see, but we're working on that. Lots on 10 sticks as well, which is another concept which I think is not, tallies and 10 sticks, they're not brand new to him, but a lot of the time is. So we're doing o'clock and 1/2 that's what we're working on at the moment. So yeah, I think he's learning. I just don't know how full a lesson is. I don't know whether I should be aiming to do 2 lessons a day for him. So I'm sort of like, I don't want to give a full review. I think maybe in a few months I will be able to give a more full review, and I'm happy to do that. As for right now, I'm kind of on the fence as to whether I think I will need to supplement it. For my 8-year-old, I think I mentioned in a short video that he had hit a wall with teaching textbooks. So we gave him like a 3 or 4 week break. The first 3 or 4 weeks we didn't expect him to do it, and we changed things up for him. So my friend recommended this, and I would highly recommend it. This is so fun. They also have a kit in math too, and if you sign up they send you loads of the company, I'm trying to find the name of the company, well, it's Kelly Pearson. You can be on their mailing list and they'll send you loads of offers and things. Like I've literally just had like Halloween ones, and it was like a download for like $5 or something, which again seems like kind of a fun thing to do. So this is almost in a storybook form. So basically you are going to foster some kittens, 4 kittens, and at the beginning you get to pick your kittens. So it's like a story based thing, and then you get to pick the kittens, you get to pick their names, draw pictures of them, describe their personalities. Then there's loads of maths included. So depending on your kitten's name, that's how how many dollars they would cost, but we've changed it to pounds, so how many pounds that kitten will cost to buy when you go to sell it. We haven't done them yet, but you also have links to print out games, like board games that you can do together. We've got quite a lot of board games. We haven't felt the need to do that, but I definitely think it's something we could go back to do. And then this is so cute. So here's our list. You had £250 or dollars to spend at the pet shop, and you have to decide what you're going to use that money on, what supplies you're going to use it on, and there's all sorts. There's like how much you need to feed in milliliters as well, and like how much they weigh in grams. So there's just so much in here. So for about 4 weeks he was doing a couple of pages of this a day, and loving it. Like he would go, can I do my maths first, can I do my maths first? On top of that, he has struggled with his times tables. So I literally got this. You can get these on like Temu and places like that, but I actually just got mine on Amazon. And it has 1 to 12 on here, 1 to 12 on here, and it's the times tables. And so he has used this so much, like it's really worth getting one. And he will, so I would do like a sort of sheet of questions that I would just write in the morning and say, oh, can you also do this quickly, see how quick you can do it? And I'd like time him, and he loves that. He's really competitive, so he loved that. And you can just literally go like 7 times 7, bop your finger in, you can see, you know, what it is, 49. And so he's found this really, really useful. Now, in the last like week, he suddenly got back into teaching textbooks. I don't know why. I suggested it one day. I said, we don't have a lot of time for mummy to sit down with you today for the kitten math, because it is quite hands-on. Do you want to just do a teaching textbooks math for, and just we did it together. He did it super quick. He got like 100%, and I think that boosted confidence, and he went back onto it. But I will say this, he has by his side every teaching textbooks, and it's helping him so much. And there'll be so many, he just did the quiz, so many where he's like, I don't even need this, I know this one. Like, he's so like confident in himself, which is lovely. So he'll have this by his side, almost like a little bit of a comfort blanket, just in case he doesn't know the answer. So that's been going really well. Okay, so moving on to English language arts, I'll start again with my 8-year-old because he's got quite a stack, because I think I explained in another video, but we are doing the looping technique with him. So he basically just goes through, sorry, I've got this tickly cough and I keep coughing, but he just goes through one of these English activities a day, and then he also does reading, and he also does his novel study. So one of them is the draw right now, and he absolutely loves this. He loves drawing tutorials, and so like he did the tree here, and then he has to write the sentences, and they're like kind of facts as well, which is kind of cool. And this is what I wanted to say about his handwriting. So honestly, this is so good for him. Like, this handwriting is like so neat. Like, it's really clear. This is like a little bit bigger, but mainly he's doing really well with that. So yeah, he'll do that once a week, and as you can see, there's like 5 of them. He has also loved the Usborne Write Your Own Storybook. He has done only 3 or 4 activities in this one, because he's not picked it every week, because he can do this all night zookeeper, so that's why it's not like the full 6 weeks. But we also have comic book and script, I think. So I have thought, do I let him go all the way through this one, or do I give him the choice? So we might give him the choice to do like a comic strip one day instead. And then he has done one of the other days was this, and I also had a white clean one that is similar, and he's shown no interest in that, so that's fine. Like, he's just working through this, and yeah, he'll just do a double page spread of that. Again, he's fine with this. It's year 3, he is year 4, but I thought let's go through this one and then move on to the year 4. He's not been super into this. I think he's only done like a few of these ones where they tell you the type of word you need, and then you fill it in and make a funny story. He loves it when he does it, but he's not super keen. What hasn't worked? To be honest, the only thing I would say that's not worked super well, and I haven't actually bought them upstairs, the story cubes that I got were called sentence cubes or sentence blocks. The sentences never make sense, and it would be okay if it was really funny, but it's not even really funny. So it will be like, I can't even think. The slow girl ran quickly through the kitchen or something, you know, on the kitchen. I think I need to get different story cubes, because the concept I love, but it's just not working. And then I get them, both my middle son and my youngest will then copy their sentences out into the copy, and they're just not working very well. So that's something I think I'll probably get a different set. But he does so much, I don't know whether it's necessary. So the next thing I want to talk about is the novel study. This is something my 8-year-old and 12-year-old are doing. My 8-year-old has now finished reading the book. He loved reading the book. He says he prefers the book to the movie. He's watched the original, the more modern one, and Wonka. Although Wonka's not the same story, I realise. He loved reading the book. I read some to him, he read some alone, he read some aloud. He's completed 5 weeks of the activities. He loved them. Look at our other video where he designed and made his own chocolate bar. The suggestion was to design your own chocolate bar, but he was so into it that I thought we've just got to make it, and it was so fun. He loved doing it. We have had talks about going to Cadbury's World, which is a chocolate place here in the UK. It's like a 3-hour drive for us, so I'm a bit hesitant to take 3 kids on my own up there, but we'll see, maybe. He has loved it. He's done amazing. He's got 1 more week, and these are more like suggested activities. So these aren't the same layout. So he's got, these are just ones I've picked. So at the end, it's great. Jessica from All the Homeeduk Way then just listed for the last week loads of activities. She's like, watch the movie, do all of these. We watched the movie in like week 3 actually. So he's already done a movie book comparison. It was like a review, like comparing the two. So these are just a few that I've picked. There are some more comprehension type activities that I think would suit an older child. He is only 8. So I've picked design a book cover. The crossword, he has already done the word search. Character analysis, so this is very similar to the book and movie comparison, like review thing. So he'll do that, and then he'll do persuasive writing book review. So it's basically trying to get someone to read or not the book, based on their opinion. And then there was like one other activity, and I've done a list of ones. I'll just get them up on my notes actually, because I can't remember what it was. So I said he can pick to write an alternate ending to the story, a sequel, like what would happen in a sequel, not write the whole sequel, or we could do some author research on Roald Dahl. So that is what he's going to be doing for the last week. And we'll just use the book to reference again. We have with him loved the novel study so much that he's already picked that he wants to do Because of Winn-Dixie next, which is another one offered by the Homeeduk Way. So I'm going to purchase the book and do that, and we'll start that after like our week break. But I will just say, my 12-year-old, so if you have a child, she is PDA, she's demand avoidant. She was not into it. It's so difficult because there were some parts of it she loved and she was happy to do. I wish I had one to show you, but basically each week was very similar. So there was like a comprehension, she was fine with that. There was like you have words and then you had to match them with the meanings, fine with that. She was fine with the summary at the end where you drew a picture, you chose a title for like a block of those chapters you'd read that week. All of that she was fine with. Anything when it was like, write a diary entry was one of them, no way. Write a newspaper article, no way, no way. And it's just quite tricky when she's only interested in sort of doing 3 out of the 5 activities a week. And she's also not reading it. She doesn't want me to read it to her. She doesn't want to do it at the same time as her brother. It's like a set, you need to read now. So I sort of send her off and I'll say, come on now, let's go downstairs and like fill out. And she's like, oh, well, I haven't read those yet. So that's been a bit tricky. I don't know whether it's the book she's not interested in, whether it's the style of the novel study. So I just need to do a big rethink on that. And I'll let you know when I've sort of thought through what we're going to do with that and how. Because I originally got all these for her. She's not interested in doing that. But she does loads on Night Zookeeper. She loves poetry. So I have thought about, do we do like a poetry tea time? Yeah, I've just got to think it through. But if you have a child similar to mine and you have any tips, please share, because I would love to hear them. I'm up for trying anything at this point, because it's a really lovely thing to share and do together, and I want her to be a part of that. But yeah, that's where we're at with the novel study. Okay, so finally, language arts, my youngest. So what we've been doing with him has been working amazing. I'm so impressed with how hard he's been working. He loves his routine that we've got down. He never argues about doing it. He actually really enjoys it. So basically, simplest form, I'll just show you what we've done. I had all my sounds and sight words for each week. This is just for me. He never sees this. And then for each one, I write sentences that use those sounds and sight words and some review sight words as well. And he has 2 sentences a day, and those 2 sentences, I've not got it, I've only got he'll put in his copy workbook, and then he gets a sticker for each sentence he does. And before we do that, we practice the sounds. So I've got these sight word cards, which are really great because the green ones are what they should know in year 1, and the yellow ones are what they should know in year 2. So he has been doing the sight words, and then he's been doing the sounds. Quite a lot of these are review, but like I said, I just went to the beginning because I wanted to make sure where we were at. So he'll do the sight word, I'll turn the sound, sorry, I'll turn it around, he'll say the sentence, and then I will use words suggested or words I've thought of, and these sight words in those sentences, that he then reads the 2 sentences I've requested he writes. He reads them aloud to me, then he writes them in his copy workbook and gets 2 stickers. Loves doing that. He always wants me to go out of the room so he can surprise me. I just wanted to say that we're still going with the Bear Can Read. I've got him on a level now that I feel is right. And I wanted to show you this little blending book because this has been really great. So this was A, E, I and O. But it will have it like the word, and then it will have a picture, and then all the way through, and then at the end there's like 2 pages where it's like a full sentence, and then again the full sentence. So this has worked really well. He's done all the activity sheets for the Bear Can Read this month. He's loved them. Again, he'll get a sticker. If he's done an activity sheet, we don't do this book, but he's basically finished this, and I would say, again, this might be easy for where he should be, but honestly, he's really liked doing this. And again, he gets like a little sticker per sheet. So if he did the Bear Can Read worksheet, he doesn't do this. If he hasn't, he does a double page spread of this. And as it goes on, it does get harder. So let me show you. So look, you can see here he's got I at the end, and then he has to pick the right A. So if it's in the middle of the word, obviously it's that A, and if it's at the end, it's that A. But he's done really, really well with this. We are set, like I said, to be like, we've got 1 or 2 more weeks of sight words, a few more weeks of sounds, and then we'll be ready to start the next phase of sounds and the next phase, year 2 phase of sight words. So that's really cool. I do not know whether I'll do that or whether I'll go back and do review. It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because I don't want to add so much new stuff and then go back and realise that he's forgotten. So maybe we'll do up until Christmas review. I'm not sure. We'll just see how we go. But that is English and maths done. Sorry, this is a really chatty one because I just wanted to go through in more detail everything and how it's working. Okay, so there's a few things I've added now that I kind of wanted to go through. I have added this book we've always had, but the boys really wanted to learn more sewing, specifically my 8-year-old, but both of them have kind of got into it. And this book is honestly so sweet. So specifically, they've been doing these felt animals. So they're all the same, what's the word, shape originally, and then you just add different bits to make it a different animal. You can make a little house for them, but yeah, it's all kind of this shape. And you can make little baby ones or big ones, and then you can make little carriers for them. They've just been doing, can you see how cute are they? It's so simple because all you need is felt and thread. Like, that's pretty much felt sheets and thread, and it's super affordable kind of. And I mean, they have really cool other things as well. Like, you can make bunny and make an outfit for it, but that's kind of where we're at the moment, is just this really basic one. And I can help cut out the shapes for them, and then they can sew. So I think this is a really lovely addition. We're kind of doing it once a week, maybe. We sometimes do it at the weekend and stuff. It's not like a specific home ed thing, but I just think it's a really lovely skill to learn. I am thinking of getting my 8-year-old a sewing machine for Christmas. I don't know if he's that into it, but he loves making things for other people, so I think he would like to have one. But yeah, so that's really cool. Another thing that we've added, and I'm definitely going to get a ton more, is the Homeeduk Way discovery decks. So I got the ancient Egyptian one. I think it's just Egypt. And basically you scan it, it takes you to a YouTube video that's age appropriate for, like, it's for children, that answers this question. So when we've been doing our ancient Egyptians, if there's like a colouring activity I want them to do, or drawing or something, they can watch these videos while they're doing that, and it's worked super well. We've loved doing that. I got my son the cat one because he loves cats, and I also got the space one for my youngest while we were doing the space. I would say the space has gone really well with him. It's hard to know. I'm not expecting him to write a lot because he's 6. It's sometimes hard to know how much they take in, and then he'll say stuff to me and I'm like, I don't even remember telling you that. That's so cool. So that he's like taken that in and remembered that. So I think he's probably done with space now. We'll probably carry it on like the next week, and then we'll stop, have a week's break, and then move on to our next unit study, which I'm hoping to share a video on my planned unit study soon. But yeah, it's just not something that I've got around to, mainly because I'm and ahhing about changing things. It always goes that way. We had an experience recently and I'm like, oh, I don't know whether I should delve more into that. But yeah, maybe I'll explain that in another video. So that is the discovery decks, and they're super affordable. They're like $5 a pack, and you get 20 videos or questions. Sorry, my cough is so irritating. And I got them on sale and they were like $3.75, so I don't know what that is in pounds, but it was like nothing. For just a few other things that we're adding at my daughter's request, I was watching another YouTuber mum who I can't remember her name, but she was talking about how she felt that the curriculum she was using wasn't including enough like diversity when it came to all sorts of things, but like religion, especially. I think when you have Christian curriculum, obviously it's not necessarily an area that's covered. So anyway, my daughter sort of piped up and she was like, oh, I really want to learn about that. So I picked up this book secondhand. It's DK World Religions, The Great Faiths Explored and Explained. And we're not into this book. It is so wordy. I'll show you the size of the font so you can kind of get an idea. And I have added this to her morning basket to read aloud. And like, I will get half a page in and I'm like, this is a lot. I don't know, like that's a lot. So I have got a book on my wish list and it's really hard to find. I don't know whether Usborne's discontinued it, but it's like see inside. It's like a look inside or see inside one, with flaps and things. And I've thought maybe of looking if there's a way that I can find some videos as well. She's just super intrigued and interested in other religions and everything. I think that's just a really lovely thing to learn about. I'm also super interested in other people's religions and like festivals and things that they do. We do have I think it's like these brilliant books. I think they might be DK because they're like Children Like Me or Children Around the World, but they're really, really old. Like yeah, they're like old, and I think it's not realistic for like how those children would be living in today's. But that does take you through like you'll have like a Jewish child, or a child that lives in like Germany, or a child that lives in Japan. So it's not just all about religion, it's just about different ways of life and culture as well. And that book has been really useful over the years. We've used it a lot, but yeah, this is just more specific into world religions. So yeah, that's something that we're trying to add. I also think I should add it for the children, the young ones. Another book just I've not included is the Usborne. There's like one called All About Friends, All About Feelings, All About Families. I think those books are really, really powerful. They're a lot younger age. Like we look through them with my 12-year-old again and they're way too young for her. But it kind of lets you see how different families are like made up in a really basic way, you know, like stepmoms, stepdads, families of different races coming together or different religions coming together, and I think that's just a really good book to have in our collection. The other book I really wanted to mention for her that we've added, it's new to us and I think it's brilliant. She doesn't mind it. I'd love her to do the activities, so I'll just explain. But it's called Mightier Than the Sword, Rebels, Reformers and Revolutionaries Who Changed the World Through Writing. And I'll just open it up to where I think we just did Shakespeare, like possibly, yeah, William Shakespeare. So what it will do is it will have a very brief sort of explanation of like their work and things and what it did in the world, what impact it had, and then it will have a number of activities that you can try yourself. William Shakespeare wrote comedies, tragedies and histories. What story do you want to tell? Create your own skit or one act play on a theme that matters to you. But like there was another one where it was like write a poem and different stuff like that, and I would love her to maybe get more into the activities in this. Perhaps not while, because it's part of her morning basket, not while we're actually doing her morning basket, but at some point. So yeah, that's kind of what we've been doing. The other thing I wanted to mention is my youngest was doing a £2 tuition hub Spanish, and it is not suitable for his age group. I think it said it was 4+, like age 4+, and we go on and it's his first time doing it, and it's learning about subjects, like the names of subjects, like science, English, history, that kind of thing. And he's 6 and I didn't realise that. So I actually saw a fellow YouTuber has just put up from the UK has just put up a video on how she's teaching her 4-year-old Spanish, and it looks like a really, really cool subscription. So I am thinking of maybe just getting a month just to see what it's like before I like set myself up. But I think it's based through stories, and so I think that sounds really, really good. If I remember who it was, I will link their channel below, or I'll list who they are, and the name of the company they were using. So that will be something else we add. But yeah, so that is kind of the conclusion of the first 6 weeks. I feel really impressed with how much we've got done. I think we need the week break to figure out our next unit study for me to get it all together. It would be nice to take all those books back to the library because there's so many. And I will try to update you on our next unit study and sort of how that's going to go. But hopefully, I feel like I've talked for hours, so I'm really sorry about that. But yeah, let me know how it's been going for you guys the first sort of like month and a half. If there's any recommendations you have for anything that I've sort of mentioned, let me know. But yeah, that's everything for now, and I'm hoping to do this like once every 6 weeks, or at the end, so it won't be every 6 weeks because we'll have that week break, but at the end of every kind of unit study period to let you know how we're getting on. But yeah, so that's sort of everything that's been happening with us. I feel like it's a really positive first 6 weeks considering everything we've got going on. I will try and do a video on that, like I said. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and see you again soon.